What's going on, traders? So you're new to Dash Trader Pro and you're not exactly sure where to start. You're not exactly sure how to get an awesome setup like the one that you see behind me. However, I'm here to help you with that. I've made videos like this in the past, but I'm going to kind of give you a quick rundown, just going to kind of breeze through everything as far as what you might need to get started. And so with that said, let's just get right to it. All right, so we're going to jump right into this. As you can see, I have a couple charts here, just a little bit more zoomed in. I'm actually going to bring this over because this is a little bit more important. This is going to be what you see when you first open up your Dash Trader Pro. It's not going to look like this. There's going to be a bunch of normal default type looking things. It's all going to be within this area here. And then what you're going to have to do in order to get everything to look a little bit more like you want. Now, keep in mind, you can keep everything in here. So like if you wanted to grab a chart, you can position it in here. You can do whatever you want. However, you're never going to be able to move this outside onto your actual desktop unless you right click the title bar and hit pop out. So that'll be the first thing that we tell you. And now you can see we can actually move this thing wherever we want. So move it over just so I can show you. And there you go. So now we can put this wherever we want. The other cool thing is once you have a default chart that you like, you can actually save that as default, and then you can actually hit a load default. What that's going to do after you hit commit is it's going to open up that chart wherever that default one was that you saved. So like right now, I don't have this saved to anything. I have Tesla's chart right here. I can then take the anchor from the montage of Tesla, which is right here on the montage, and you just simply drag over to the new chart. Let me show you this again just so you can see it, but we'll pop up a new chart. I can't get it out, so I right click, hit pop out. I'm going to bring it over here. I'm going to actually go ahead and just do this without saving the default, and then you'll actually see what a stock chart looks like straight off of Dash Trader Pro. So anchor over to it, and here's what your stock chart's going to look like. So pretty good looking. I mean, it's not necessarily my style. This is in the dark theme. Speaking of dark themes, again, like this is how this video is going to go. I'm just going to start talking, and whatever leads to whatever is just how this is going to go. It's going to kind of get you set up. So setup, other configuration. This is where you can have a lot of options that you could change. However, the one that we're looking for here is the theme. So down here, you see theme. It's going to be this by default, which is just some ugly, to me it's ugly. Some people like the white. If it'll let me, it's not letting me drag. There we go. You can see this like white looking thing. So actually, let's open up a chart now so you guys can actually see. Yeah, you can see like this is all white now. If we open up a new chart, let's pop it. Oops, close. I didn't hit pop out. Quote chart, pop it out. Let's go ahead and move this again. And let's see if it gives us a little bit of a different look. No, it's still the same. I thought this was a white background, but maybe that's not the default. So if you right click on a chart, it's actually going to pop up some more stuff. You have chart area, config area, and then you also have configure, which is the top one. If you go to the top one, this is where you're going to see everything that goes into these charts. The horizontal grid line, which if we hit OK, you can see it's going to add the horizontal grids. If you get rid of that one, add the verticals, it's going to add the verticals, which is every hour. There is also the day separator line. So if you don't want the vertical lines, but let's go back a little bit. Here's a quick little tip that a lot of people don't know. If you hover over to the very left side of a chart, it'll give you this funny looking like arrow with dots on it. And if you start clicking it in the right spot, that's how you can actually go back within your charts a little bit further if it doesn't let you zoom out any further. So now you can see the day separator lines. There they are. And you can configure all this. You can change the way it looks, the colors. You can have market open and market close in there as well. You can actually change it so that it looks a little bit different. So show different background color for pre and post market. So it'll do that. I mean, there's endless things that you can do to configure this to exactly how you want. And if I just right click on the title bar and I hit a load default, it's actually going to pop up after I hit commit. This little guy, because this is just one of the little side charts that I made. And if I drag this over from Tesla, you will see kind of what I've made mine look like. I love the color orange. If we drag this back over, let's go back to set up other configuration. We can change this back to the dark theme. I like it. Looks a little bit better. That chart that we just had up, we can pull back up and you can see this is kind of what I have mine as. It's like I said, just kind of messed with it. Pre-market, post-market, have it as gray, like the horizontal lines, not so much the vertical lines. You can kind of get the day separator lines without having them by keeping the pre and post-market the way that it is. And that's just kind of how I like it. What else can we do? On the montage, we got a bunch of hot buttons. When you open up a montage, it's probably going to have the level 2 on there. I don't use level 2, but to get to it, you just find a place down in here that has an open space. You can right click and you can hit layout config. So in the layout config, you have level 1, level 2, your trade, and your hot buttons. By default, all of these are going to be on there. So it's probably going to look something like this. And where my level 2 would be is where your level 2 will be, which is right here above the hot buttons, or actually I think, or above where it says trade. You can, and again, that's the cool thing. You can actually customize this. If you want your level 2 up top and all this level 1 information where you type the ticker in and stuff at the bottom, you can do that. If you want the hot buttons up top, and like if you want those to be what you see first, you can do that. You can kind of mess around with this. Now, one cool thing that there's a lot of little cool things in DOS that I like to think that I had a little bit to do with because I would constantly be annoyed that I had to deal with them, and it was something that felt like it should be there. And one of those things was hot buttons were always a thing, but when you used to right click on them, if you wanted to make a row of 3, you would have to like make a whole new row and then delete the 2 rows above. You'd have to basically redo everything every single time. Well, one of the cool things they added to one of the more recent things in DOS Trader Pro is the ability to add a single button to the left, a single button to the right. You can add rows above, below. You can, delete whole rows or delete single buttons now. It's actually really nice. It saves you a crap ton of time, especially if you're always changing your hot buttons like I do, until you find something that you're comfortable with. As far as the hot buttons go, when you add these, all it is a hotkey in button form. So you can either make your hotkeys and then put them in here, or you can continue to use hotkeys if you want. I like using buttons. It's just a little bit more of a visual thing for me. And I am pretty good with making hot buttons / hotkeys. So if you ever do need any help, feel free to ask down below. And if there is anything I've missed in this video, feel free to ask down below in the comment section and I will get back to you. I pretty much, if you go back to my old DOS one, I'm still getting comments here and there and I always answer them. So I just like to help out in ways that I know that I can. Let's see what else we can do. Yeah, if we right click on the chart here and go down the chart area and then config area, you're going to see kind of a different little thing pop up here. This is, you can have show last price. You can have the average cost line, which was another thing that I'm pretty positive I got put into DOS Trader Pro. I used to send them an email once a month saying, how is this not a thing? It's on pretty much every other trading, charting software out there. All it does is when you get into a position, it'll show you your average price line within the chart. I was a little confused why that wasn't there to begin with, but now it is. If you're ever having problems, maybe I'm pretty sure this is on by default, but if you want to change the way your triangles look on the chart, you also, if you don't see your orders on the chart, if you put orders out above or below like a current price, that's in here as well. Again, a lot of this is just fiddling with it and going through and just kind of, again, just kind of finding where everything goes. Sorry, I didn't mean to hit that. And again, if you have any questions, feel free to always ask. It's something like, again, I like to do, etc. So again, all these windows, this is my main area. This is my account window, trades, orders, positions with closed positions. So this way I can see when I'm in a position, but then it'll stay up. This is mainly just for the stream. And then down here, I have a positions window that doesn't have the with closed positions, so that this way I will always know that if I'm in a position or not, because sometimes you might overcover or oversell and you might be in a position you don't realize it if you are using this, because you'll get used to seeing these up here, but you won't always look at how many shares you have. And before you know it, you might just be sitting in a position you didn't even know it. So Having these windows up to me are pretty crucial. Obviously, the montage and the charts are pretty crucial as well, since that'll be what you're using predominantly. So another cool little thing, let's move this montage real quick. And we'll get rid of this chart. So on the charts, you'll see that I don't have a toolbar on this chart, but I did on the one that I just closed. You can get rid of that by, you can right click and hit no title bar. Now, if I obviously take that, now I have a title bar, but there's also another thing that I don't have, which is the toolbar. So toolbar is right there, just right click, it's on toolbar. Crosshair as well, if you like using a crosshair on your charts, that is there as well. As far as all your indicators, you would right click, go to study config, and here's all the studies that they have available to put onto the charts. Now, if you would like to add, say, like MACD or any of those types of things, what you're going to do is you're going to come down here on chart area and you're going to hit new, you're going to hit, can you see this? Yeah. Add new area after or before. So if you want it to be above the volume, because this volume is actually a separate thing. So you have like the main chart and then you have the volume. So if you're going to add something, you need to tell it, do you want it to be a before volume or after? So in this case, we're going to go ahead and put after. Now keep in mind, this is something they added as well, just like the hot buttons where you can actually just move these up and down. They didn't have that before. So that's very nice as well. And so for here, we're going to do that. Then we would go to study config. You're going to see it's empty. We'll go down to MACD. We'll just leave it to its stock settings for now and hit commit. And what's going to pop up now is the MACD for Tesla. I don't know if maybe because we're on, it's not trading at the moment, because we did just go over into after hours. I'm not sure. Let's try a different indicator. Maybe because these settings look a little whack. I'm not really sure. Let's use the what's the stochastic? Let's find that one. That's the other thing you can, pretty sure, I thought you could click in here and check, but I guess maybe not. Is this stochastics? Yeah, all right. Let's put that over there. Looks good. Hit commit, and there you go. Not exactly sure why the MACD look like that. I kind of want to click on it again, see what happens. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why these are the EMA periods are set like that, but obviously something's wrong there. So, but when you get into these, if you want to make them your own, like if you have a certain set of parameters for these, you would just highlight it and hit config, and you can go ahead and change it. So let's just do 13. I'm going to change this to 0. I'm not exactly sure what the signal it's looking for. And then it has to be at least 1. Okay. So let's just put 1. I see. I don't know why it's doing that. There we go. Oops. 1. And then let's try 1. We'll leave it at 12. And then let's go ahead and oh, you know what? Let's get rid of the stochastics. Hit commit. And yeah, it's still not working. So something I don't really use MACD, so I don't really know what parameters are supposed to be in there. I probably messed that up somehow, messing with something. I'm not sure, but yeah. Like I said, you got all kinds of different ones. So a cool one that I like is price marker. So price marker you're going to want to use on your main one. I believe I actually already have it on there. Yep. So I have it set for just yesterday's high, but if you highlight it and hit config, you're going to see 4 slots pop up. You can go in here and you can add the open from today, last price, the high from today, low from today, Y is for yesterday, YY is for 2 days ago, pre-market highs, pre-market lows. You can add lines for all this. So like, let's say we wanted to see what the pre-market high on Tesla was. We can change it to this dotted line. We'll make it white since we're on a black background. And then we'll also make it a lot bigger just to kind of show you. So if we hit commit, you're going to see it right there. So now if we were to scroll out a little bit more, you can see our pre-market high right there is this now big dotted line. Again, you can configure so much. So chart area, we're going to remove this area and make it a little bit bigger up here. Again, you can kind of do whatever you want. Another one I know a lot of people like is like volume profile. I believe our volume by price is what it is in here as. That'll put where like a lot of the volume is throughout the day. And if you scroll in, obviously that's going to change because the price points get less as you get closer to the price. Again, you can set this up however you want. You can go to the config. You can have it set maximum of 50. You can make it 20. The bars will be a lot thicker, give you a little bit easier way to read it. You can make it so it'll obviously stick out further for where most of the price was. It's just really cool. Oh yeah, so volume by price up in the top. If you go to study config, you can actually highlight this and hit config EX, which is the one next to config, and it'll say display study info on top left. So if you want to get rid of that, you can. And there you go. Just clean up the chart. And then, like I said, I like to get rid of the toolbar and as well as hit no title bar. It gives you a little bit extra space and just makes everything look a bit cleaner. I believe that's all I think that you would need as far as getting everything set up. Let's just kind of scroll through here. I mean, all the stuff, if you need it, like trade, if you're looking to get a montage, it would be right here. The accounts window, positions window, orders like the ones that I have here. The trade log is right here. If you go to reports, it'll bring up your report for the day, but most people don't really need that. It's just more of like a summary type thing. Here's your chart if you need it. Time and sales. If you want to set up a watch list, that's over here under tools, which would be right here. You can set alerts. Again, I can get more in depth with how to set alerts. It's actually a little bit tricky on DOS, but I feel like that'd be more of like a short video. Here, we can just do it real quick. So this is actually what's going to pop up. And I have it set so that every time I get an order filled or order canceled or whatever, it'll make a visible alert for me, which is a whole different thing. But in here, you would just hit add alert. This is going to pop up. You can name the alert. You can hit add here as far as, and then you're going to look for last price, whatever you want it to be. There's so much in here that you can make it. So symbol, security symbol, you would put like Tesla because we have it in there. Say, I don't know, Tesla through 269. Then you just hit add. It's going to pop this up. You can hit last sale, greater than, and then 269. And that will put it in there for you. So then you would just hit OK. And now we have, when 269 goes off, it's going to message us. It'll pop up on here and say that Tesla is up through 269. So other than that, like I said, I'd rather you guys just ask down in the comments section below if you have any specific questions. But it's really not too hard once you start getting into it. And like I said, I've been using this for about 5 years now. And a lot of people come to me just because I literally just sat down one day and said, I'm going to learn how to use DOS. It's just like any tool for any job that you want to do in life. It's part of your craft that you're looking to master. So it's something that you should probably sit down and invest some time in learning. And hopefully this is a nice little quick jumpstart for you in doing so. But if you do get snagged up on something and you just want to figure out what it is real quickly, feel free to ask me, or obviously you can try to search and find it you're on your own, which I do highly recommend, because then you end up finding other things that you might not have found if you were looking for something else, which is kind of what I did. So hopefully you find this video useful. If you do, feel free to leave a thumbs up. Feel free to subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.